Hello everybody and welcome back to the Countout, my holy mother of tomato juice. It feels like it's been a long time since we've done this. I've decided to kind of come back on and start doing this again just because there's a lot of things to talk about with wrestling, and you know, why not? Because it was fun. And you enjoyed it, all 20 of you. So let's go ahead and talk about Fastlane, which just concluded about 2 hours, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. I'm not really sure when I'll be able to upload this. So let's just say 7 hours ago. Yes, Fastlane was 7 hours ago, and what a show it was. First, let's start off with our pre-show match. Now see, what I love is that they gave the United States Championship to John Cena to really, not that he won at Fastlane, everybody, but that they gave it to him to elevate the championship so he could elevate the United States Championship. It can mean something. And then Alberto Del Rio won it. Alberto Del Rio won it, and then lost to Kalisto. And you're like, okay, and then, you know, it switched back and forth, which everyone complained about, but I have no problem with that. I think it's good to have a championship kind of jump back and forth. I hate when there's consistently long reigns. Like, it's like, come on, not everyone's going to hold it for like 627 days, but so I felt that Kalisto's not a bad champion. I don't think it's bad to have it on, but I think it's bad to have a championship they're trying to elevate on the pre-show. I think it hurts, especially at 2 out of 3 falls. It was actually a pretty sweet match. It was like 15 minutes. Del Rio definitely showed the heel side, and I think him losing did not weaken him at all because he definitely showed strength over Kalisto and power, and definitely got himself over as a heel. And I think Kalisto got over as a babyface as the underdog. I think it worked out really well. Kalisto ended up retaining the championship, but now I feel like this feud should end and it should go on to something else. Hopefully Kalisto will defend the title at Wrestlemania and it will be a grand fashion. But we'll have to wait and see. Then we had Becky, Lynch, Sasha Banks, who defeated Team Bad. This is a match. So the problem with this is obviously Becky and Sasha kind of have a little like, oh, like who's better? Who's better? And they kind of had that for like 20 seconds. They're like, hey, like I'm starting first. I'm starting first. Then they kind of were like, you know what? Let's just be cool. And they were just kind of cool the rest of the match, and then just won the match. It was kind of like, all right, cool, we're all good. So that kind of seemed odd. It wasn't a bad match, but it just felt like the chemistry could have kind of been played up a little bit more. Then we had Kevin Owens defeat. I'm going off the Wikipedia, kind of the match thing. I'm not sure if this is actually the exact order, because I don't really remember. Kevin Owens defeated Dolph Ziggler. Whoa, this was a good match. I felt almost that Ziggler could win at a few points. I knew he wouldn't, but they kind of made it seem like he could. I mean, they do that every week on Raw with the close finishes, but, you know, it got me excited. And I enjoyed it. So, you know, Kevin Owens won. Big Show, Kane, Ryback against the Wyatt Family, which they defeated. So, here's the thing with the Wyatt Family. I feel that they are trying to push the Wyatt Family. At least that's what it felt like they were trying to do. And that's what it seems like. They start to push the Wyatt Family, they put them into a feud, and they just lose. They made this feud, which seemed like such a last-minute match they put together, a huge thing. They had the promo, which was AJ Styles' old theme song at TNA. OMG, what the heck? And they made it such a big deal. Like, oh, it's going to be huge in this match. And they just lost. Ryback won. Like, it wasn't necessarily a great match. Bray Wyatt really didn't do much. He just kind of sat there in the chair. It wasn't even his chair. It was like the announce chair, but it was like in front of the announce table. But Ryback did do a really cool move where he was running from like turnbuckle to turnbuckle and hitting the high knee, and eventually almost hit the high knee and went over the top rope. Which, let's be honest, that would have been the spot of the night if that happened. Then we had Charlotte, who defeated Brie Bella by submission to retain the Divas Championship. This match, I don't know, like, I felt like there was kind of like the chance Brie could win because they're like, oh, you know, your sister has neck injury and your husband had to retire, so here's the title, you know, for all the pain that you had to deal with. It didn't go that way. Charlotte won, which I think was the right call, but the problem with it was the finish. Brie had Charlotte in the Boston leg lock, whatever, and just kind of like stopped doing the moves, just kind of let go and was like, okay. And it held it for like a minute and a half, and then Charlotte hit her with the figure 8, and then she tapped out right away. Clean finish, and I felt that totally was the wrong call for it. You know, Ric Flair really didn't get involved, which is good. And I felt like this match should have had a dirty finish. Like there should have been something Charlotte did to kind of, hey, I'm still dirtiest woman in the game. I don't know if that's something you would want to call yourself, the dirtiest woman. That's it explains why I guess she's single now. On to the next match. So AJ Styles defeated Chris Jericho. Whew. This was a great match. AJ Styles absolutely my favorite wrestler. He cannot put on a bad match. Chris Jericho was amazing. It felt like they had a great story to kind of tell, that, you know, AJ was just trying to prove himself. Chris Jericho was trying to make up for the loss that he had on Raw, even though he beat, you know, beat Styles before. Though there was like a few missteps where AJ does his like backflip, backwards DDT, reverse DDT, and I feel like I haven't seen him hit that move. Maybe I missed like I missed watching a SmackDown or two, but I saw that where he tried to do it with Curtis Axel, I think, and he just kicked him in the head accidentally, and then they're like, oh wow, what a crazy move, and then he tried to do it with Jericho, and Jericho was like too far back. I don't think Jericho stepped up far enough, and it's such a cool move, and I've seen him do it so many times in TNA, so perfectly, so flawlessly. I don't know why he keeps messing up here. It's these WWE guys, man, they don't get it. Jerks. So after this, then we had the return of Edge and Christian. OMG, this was hilarious. I felt like this was perfect chemistry when New Day came out and they're comparing themselves, and it felt awesome. And then it went downhill because the League of Nations came out and they're like, hey, we're the League of Nations. And Rusev didn't have a microphone because, you know, screw Rusev, right? And they all came out and they're like, what's up? And then Edge and Christian, they're like, you leave the ring, Edge and Christian. And she's like, okay. So they left. Look, we're going to do a 5-second pose, but we're not going to. I was like, damn, like, that's one of my favorite things they do, and they just didn't do it. They're just like, okay, cool. You guys do it because you suck. And then New Day's like, haha, they do suck. Start off so good, and then it's just so bad. Well, whatever. So then after that, we actually had another match. What? It was Curtis Axel defeating R-Truth. So Curtis Axel came out with the Social Outcast. You know, they did a little thing with R-Truth. I mean, it was a decent match. I don't know, I read a review, they're like, this should have been on Superstars. Like, I don't think it should have been on Superstars, but it just felt like this should have been the pre-show instead of Kalisto. You know what I mean? I understand they try to put like a really like crappy match right before the main event, you know what I mean, so people can like run to the bathroom and all that stuff. But I felt like, you know, there's like nothing to this match. It just kind of happened. You know, Goldust came out, actually cost R-Truth the match. He's like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. And they're like, oh, man, like, I'm just kind of disappointed in the situation. But, you know, I'll live. And he left. That was kind of it. Then we had the main event. Roman Reigns, who defeated Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar. Oh. Okay, so it was a good match. It was. And I feel like I said this is about a lot of matches. But a lot of matches, it was a good match. It was a good show. It was a good show for the most part. Obviously, Brock Lesnar stayed dominant the whole match, pretty much. Beating the crap out of Reigns, beating the crap out of Ambrose. Ambrose kept going, lunatic, been like, hold on. The best part was when Lesnar was facing Ambrose. Ambrose was like laying on the rope. He's like, hold on, give me a second. Give me just 1 second. Like, pulls himself up. It's like, Ambrose, you're crazy, man. And Roman Reigns and Ambrose teamed up against Lesnar. They put him through the table, then they went in, they fought each other. Saw Lesnar get up like, hey, we should work together, and put him through the table again. Lesnar came back, beat the crap out of them. Dean Ambrose got thrown out, beat the crap out of Brock Lesnar with a chair, beat up Lesnar with a chair. Beat up Lesnar with a chair, beat up Roman with a chair, beat up Lesnar with a chair, knocked him out of the ring, turn around, Roman hits a spear, 1, 2, 3, he wins. So here's the big thing, everyone was anticipating. Wyatt was going to come out, interfere, screw over Lesnar, set up the WrestleMania match. Obviously that's not going to happen now. I do not see Lesnar and Wyatt fighting now, especially after Wyatt's lost their Fastlane match. They're not held as a credible team to take on Lesnar. I feel like what they're going to be doing is they're going to be having Dean Ambrose versus Lesnar instead, and I think that's actually going to be a stronger match and a better match to put, because Lesnar would have won if it wasn't for Dean Ambrose hitting him with a chair. So I feel like that's a better match to put on for WrestleMania than Lesnar and Wyatt. Roman Reigns won. I think everyone saw that coming. I know a lot of people were upset and been like, Dean Ambrose should have won, but it wouldn't have made sense. It was a story that was being told was with Triple H. Someone mentioned in a comment how it was actually Dean Ambrose's story because he was going to win the Money in the Bank and Triple H screwed him to get Seth Rollins championship and all that stuff, and he was so close to winning it before. And yes, that is a story they could have used, but because Roman Reigns' story is front in our face and they were trying to push Reigns so much, it would just be so out of place for them to have Reigns just lose. Because then what would they do with Reigns? You know what I mean? Where would Reigns go from there? Would he just fight Lesnar and just beat Lesnar and that's it? Then go on to win the championship? The point is, he's got to go to championship. You know, he's got to do it. They're going to give him the championship, and then they'll give him a real reign and sink or swim then. That's when it really see almost 2 years of work, or a year and a half of work pay off, or did it just kind of blow up in their face? That's what's really going to see. I mean, this is the best match to go with it, you know what I mean? I don't know. Overall, I feel like out of 5 stars, I give the show, 3.5, 4 stars. I felt like it was a really solid show, good matches. Not necessarily the best storytelling, But I think the matches were solid, and it kind of sets up for WrestleMania, maybe. I'm not really sure, but that's kind of what I thought about Fastlane. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Like the video if you did. Follow us on Twitter at The Countout. Check out our Facebook page, The Countout. Subscribe to our channel to see future videos. Because I'm going to do more. I think I'm going to do not just kind of reviews and updates, but I think I'm going to do kind of like how they should book this or what they should do with this person and all that stuff. Because I've watched this from What Culture WWE, and I really like that. Or What Culture Wrestling. I like how they do that, and I want to try to do it too. Because, you know, copying people is something you can do. So yeah, that's about it. We will see you guys next time. Rock and roll.